Welcome to Bible study at Our Lady of the Wayside on Friday morning. We're entering the season of Advent. It's a new year. It's a new gospel. We're going to be in the Gospel of Mark this year. Mark is the most direct of the Gospels. It has very few sermons. It has very little let's sit back and reflect and chat. It has a lot of immediately, and then Jesus moved. And he moved, and he moved, and he did, and he moved. And so it's a very active gospel, and it's one to keep us alert. It's the alert gospel. And so we're going to be, it's interestingly enough, our first reading is going to be from, our gospel reading is going to be fairly late in the Gospel of Mark. And we're starting the season of Advent. And what led up to the season of Advent is a bunch of readings at the end of ordinary time that reminded us to be watchful. Let the Lord catch you doing what is right, with oil in your lamp, with wisdom in your heart, with having made a good return on a good return of investment on the gifts that He's given. And thank you. And then we move into the season of Advent, which is a time, it's really a time of multiple tensions. On the one hand, we're getting ready for Christmas. Does that exactly make sense? Well, we do it every year. It's part of our tradition, but it already happened. What is the point of getting ready for something that already happened 2,000 years ago in actual factual history? We don't do that for anything else. We might look forward to the anniversary of the American Revolution, but we don't look forward to the American Revolution. We might celebrate Armistice Day every year, but we don't look forward to the end of the war because it's already happened. Yet we look forward to Christmas every year. And isn't that a strange thing to do? Well, there is a point to it, and that is that yes, Jesus came actually, factually 2,000 years ago, and he came under the radar, being born in Nowheresville, ignored by pretty much, and ignored by all the media, didn't make the news. But he also is going to come again at the end of time. And so what the church is inviting us to do is to remember the gentleness of his first coming and the accessibility of Jesus. He's cuddly, he's little, he's baby, he inspires love. And so keep that thought in your heart and in your mind as you look forward to his second coming. And our first reading is going to be longing for the second coming of God. We need the justice of God. God, come, cut through the heavens, rend the heavens, come, we need you desperately. Then our third reading, the gospel reading, is going to say, watchful, be ready. It's almost a little bit scary. On the one hand, we have, yes, we look forward to the second coming of Jesus with joy and anticipation and longing. And on the other, we look forward to the coming of Jesus with a little bit of caution and awareness. The word beware comes to mind. It's not going to show up literally in the translation that we use today, but be aware, beware, be aware. This is true. It's going to happen. It's just as true as the first one that already happened. And so be ready for his second coming and be longing for his second coming. So there's that tension between the first reading and the third reading. But then there's the other tension of Advent, which is that it's a season of peace and of growth of our own hearts. And so the purpose of Advent, it's a fasting season, believe it or not. And Mary chose not to eat one of the cookies that Marcelino brought, saying this is Advent. It's a fasting season. Well, it's a fasting season, not like Lent is a fasting season, where we're fasting for the sake of spring training and for toughening ourselves up and for making sure that we know we have a little backbone. We can make some decisions. We can say no to ourselves. That's the kind of fasting there is in Lent, the spring training kind of fasting. The kind of fasting we have in Advent is the don't spoil your dinner. There's a feast coming. So let yourself be open. Let yourself be a little hungry. Let yourself be anticipating the joy that's coming. So it's a different kind of fasting than the fasting of Lent. And the point of Advent is to prepare our hearts, to be aware of that hunger in our hearts for Jesus, to be aware that he wants to come into our hearts. How can we enlarge our hearts so that there's more room in our hearts for the Lord? And so the key word of Advent in church and in the readings is going to be peace, along with hope and faith, and but the peace of Advent. And then look at the tension that our world gives us. Our world is saying, frazzle, shop, bake, decorate, do something new and different, be nervous. And the world will say, are you ready for Christmas? How many shopping days are left for Christmas? Have you gotten yourself keyed up and exhausted enough to be ready to collapse on Christmas? We are also invited by the peace of Advent, the quietness, the candle lighting, the early darkness. We're invited to embrace peace while the world is challenging us to be as frazzled as possible. So it's a challenge, and our readings throughout all of Advent are going to be directed toward the preparation of our hearts for the coming of Jesus. And so today's readings are going to be particularly fun. You'd have to come to Bible study in person to get the discussion of all three of the terrific readings that we've got for the first Sunday of Advent. So feel welcome to come either in person or on Zoom. Shoot me an email at biblestudy@olwparish.org and I can send you the Zoom code. We meet at 50 weeks of the year at 9:30 on Friday mornings. Blessings and peace. Bye.